Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Making Memories with Michelle. I'm Michelle Zanovich, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about embossing folders. So, Stampin' Up! Has 3 different types of embossing folders right now, and knowing what kind of sandwich to use with your die cutting machine can sometimes be a little confusing. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the different types of folders and the different types of sandwiches that you need to use to get the best impressions. Okay, and today I'll be using the High Seas embossing folder, the curls and swirls, and then pine wood planks. I'm going to set those aside, and my die cutting machine is still a Big Shot, and that's what I choose to use. That's what I have, and I have cut some pieces of Poppy Parade this morning into 5 by 3 3/4. All measurements can be found over on my blog at www.makingmemorieswithmichelle.com, and I'm going to go over this right now. So right now what I have is just my regular Big Shot platform and my Big Shot, and then I have a couple cutting plates. This one is extremely worn, and that's the one I always use on the bottom. This is a brand new one of the same dimension, and then this is the new blue one, and it's slightly thicker, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. All right, so let's start with just a tried and true favorite. This is the Swirls and Curls, and I use this. This is my absolute favorite, especially this time of year. It can be, you know, reminiscent of a Santa's beard or snowfall, and it's just a beautiful folder. Now what I have is the platform, 1 clear cutting plate, my embossing folder, and then I'm going to use a second clear cutting plate. So the sandwich is the platform, the clear, the embossing folder, and then another clear, and then just run this through. And you get a wonderful impression every time. Okay, so that's basically, you know, our standard platform, 2 cutting plates. Now I'm going to use the pine wood planks, and pine wood planks is a 3D embossing folder, and it's really thick. I mean, you can see the difference just by holding them up together. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to take out the bottom plate. We don't need that. So I have my platform, I have my embossing folder. I'm going to put my paper in, and I'm just going to use 1 clear plate on top. Okay, platform, 1 clear plate, and that's all. And then I have a nice subtle but very nice 3D effect. Now you guys know how to get a deeper impression, right? Spritz it slightly with water before you run it through. Don't soak it, but just spritz it lightly. And it doesn't have to be even. It just gets those fibers a little more damp. Now the High Seas is our new 3D embossing folder, and it is slightly thinner than our old ones. So you're going to need this blue plate because it's slightly thicker. Sorry, it's probably not even on camera. It's slightly thicker than our clear plate. So again, I know I keep moving that. The High Seas is your platform, your embossing folder, and your blue cutting plate. Now if you try to do that with the clear, you're going to see that there's just too much give, and it doesn't work very well. you can try and shim it, and I did that in the very beginning before the blue cutting plate came out. And, you know, that was really hard. So my recommendation is to make sure that you've got this to work with those new 3D embossing folders. Okay, so again, I will have all of that over on my blog. So I have a, again, that's the Swirls and Curls, the High Seas, and the Pine Wood Planks. And did you notice I label all of mine? Because I found that I have such a collection, I couldn't remember what they were called, so I just grabbed my label maker, and I've got labels up on top, and it makes it easier, and then I can alphabetize them in my basket. All right, so let's make a card really quickly using this Swirls and Curls piece. And again, it measures at 5 by 3 3/4. I'm going to use a little Tombow and put it right back here. Now this is a card. My neighbor boys are going to come over this weekend and craft with me. You know, they're 4th and 5th grade, and they love it. And I felt bad last Christmas. The now 5th grader really wanted to make this card last Christmas, but you know, life, I'm going to put a little more adhesive on the edge there, I'm sorry. Life got in the way, as it tends to do, and we just ran out of time. And I really think he was crushed because he wanted to make this card for his mother. And so I'm going to surprise him and have everything all ready, and we're going to make a couple of these this weekend. The boys are they're just at that right age where they just love crafting. The little one, oh my goodness, I think he would be perfectly happy with the biggest pack of cardstock and snail for Christmas. I was telling his mom that just yesterday. And the older one, you know, he tries to be cool, but he's just as excited to run next door and show his mom his creations. All right, so there's a little blip on that side. So today I'm going to use the Greatest Part of Christmas cling stamp set. This is a host stamp set, and I've chosen this Happy Christmas to All and to All a Good Night. Huh, love it. It's like perfect Santa stamp. All right, so I'm going to stamp the inside of my card with this, and this is the first time I've used this stamp, so you know I like to stamp it off first. Oh, that's going to be nice and bright. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so I stamped it in Poppy Parade to match my outside paper. Now, this is going to get adhered right to the front of my card. This is one of those cards that would just be super fantastic and super fast if you had to mass produce the whole bunch. And then I have a piece here. Wow, I really put that on crooked this morning. This is a piece of basic black, and it measures 3 3/4 by 1 inch. And I'm going to lay that down across. And I have a little piece of gold foil, which is 3 3/4 by, no it's not, it's 3/4 inch, excuse me. It's a 3/4 inch square. And then I have a piece of basic black, which is just a 1/2 inch square. I need my silicone mat out there. And I found these in my embellishments, and these are designer elements. Designer elements. I have my take your pick tool, so let's add some buttons. Santa needs some gold buttons this year. What do you think? So quick and simple. It's a fun little festive card, and I think the boys are really going to love it. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you following along. All directions, again, can be found on my blog at www.makingmemorieswithmichelle.com. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.